coverage from WAAY 31 News on 31.3 Dabble.
Thank you for joining WAAY 31 for our special coverage of today's Super Tuesday primaries. I'm Marie Waxel.
And I'm Pat Simon. You ready to go, partner?
I am.
All right, let's do this. We'll bring Dan Schaefer and Naja Sherman into the mix a little bit later on. Polls have just closed in Alabama and Tennessee, and now the excitement begins. You want to see the numbers, and we're going to share them with you all night. In fact, right now we're waiting for some of the results to come in for the biggest races tonight.
That's right. We are keeping a close eye on the Republican Senate primary as well as the Democratic presidential primary. Let's go ahead and get started with the highly anticipated Republican Senate primary here in Alabama. Throughout the evening, we will bring you the very latest results. Here are the top three frontrunners. Of course, we have Jeff Sessions, Tommy Tuberville, and Bradley Byrne.
And now let's move on to the Democratic presidential primary. There are 14 candidates on the ballot, but as you know, in the latest news that came in the last few days, some big changes happened. Only 5 are still in the race, to include Tulsi Gabbard. But right now, the top 4, Joe Biden, Michael Bloomberg, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, all vying to win in Alabama and, of course, win the nomination.
And of course, there are some statewide and local races as well that we are keeping a close eye on. Across North Alabama, voters cast their ballots on school board members, county commissioners, and local amendments. Ready to get this thing started?
Let's get it going.
All right, first let's take a look at some of tonight's biggest races.
In fact, we'll start with our WAAY 31 team of reporters spread out all across the state, giving you the very latest reactions to all the campaigns out there.
WAAY 31's Brecken Terry joins us live at Jeff Sessions' watch party tonight. Brecken, are they serving you any birthday cake out there?
Happy birthday to you.
It is my birthday, and guys, I got to tell you, it's probably the best way to spend your birthday is here at a historic election. Now, if you look around right now, no one is in here just yet, and that is because they have not opened the doors to the public yet here at Jeff Sessions' watch party. But that is going to be the podium where he is going to be giving his speech, no matter what the results of this election are tonight at 10 o'clock. But we already know it is going to be a very tight race. Jeff Sessions has held this seat for some 20 years before giving it away to someone to take a cabinet spot with President Donald Trump, then only to get the boot from that position after a little over a year. Now Jeff Sessions is fighting for this Senate seat back, and he's hoping to be able to steal it away from Democrat Doug Jones. Now, if you just turn this way a little bit, look at how many media people are here. You can tell it's already packed out, but again, 7:30 is when they are going to open those doors to the public. Many people in Jeff Sessions' campaign have told me they believe that this is going to come down to a runoff election, and if that's the case, that runoff election will be March 31st. People in Jeff Sessions' campaign believe that Tommy Tuberville will be just right behind him in the polls, followed by Bradley Byrne. But again, at Jeff Sessions' campaign, people actually left just a little while ago, and we asked them on the way out, hey, where is he? And they told us he's actually at home right now, relaxing a little bit before he gets here to deliver a speech tonight at 10 o'clock. Live in Mobile, Brecken Terry, WAAY 31 News.
All right, thank you so much, Brecken. Our coverage stays in Mobile tonight.
WAAY 31's Megan Reyna is live at Bradley Byrne's watch party. Megan, what's going on out there?
Well, you know, the polls just closed, so people are starting to trickle in. I am at Winsel's here in downtown Mobile. Bradley Byrne hoping to make a runoff election, hoping to make it to that ballot. They say they're depending on those undecided voters, and people just started to come in. I actually spoke to a couple who says that they are supporting him because of his support for the president. And we are expecting to hear from Byrne later tonight once those results come in, regardless of what they are. But for now, reporting live in Mobile, Megan Reyna, WAAY 31 News.
Hey, Megan, thanks so much. One of the 3 top front runners, Bradley Byrne, and Megan's got that covered all night tonight.
That's right. Now let's go to Lee County, Alabama. That's where we find Sydney Martins. She's at Tommy Tuberville's watch party tonight.
That's right, Marie. We are down here in Lee County, just outside of Auburn at a farm. Now, Tommy Tuberville's, his campaign bus just pulled up, and he's expected to walk in the next few minutes. Now, we've heard from people actually down here from Huntsville. We just talked to them, and we'll bring you more of that later. But people told us that right now that they like that he's a big supporter of President Trump, and that he is about protecting and securing the border and protecting Second Amendment rights. Now, we are going to head downstairs and get to see see Tommy Tuberville walk in just a few minutes, but he's not expected to take the stage here in Auburn until 10 o'clock tonight. Live in Auburn, Sydney Martin, WAAY 31 News.
Sydney, thank you so much.
And of course, we're still waiting for some results tonight, but let's go ahead and check in now with our crews here in Madison County.
Like you were just talking a little while ago when we were talking about the rain that passed through this morning, and Madison was one of those counties that got lucky. A lot of the voters that we're expecting out there. We have our own Ashley Carter who joins us live now from Madison County. Well, give us a little idea of the sights and sounds behind you, Ashley.
Right, so I'm here at the Parkway Place Mall where the Madison County Republicans are hosting their watch party tonight, and you can see behind me there are some people getting some food, watching as the results come in live on air. Now, they told me that they usually don't even host a watch party for the primary elections, but since this election is means so much to their party, they decided to host one. Now, there are some Republican candidates hosting their own watch parties around Madison County, and those are either starting right now or starting very shortly. Live in Madison County, Ashley Carter, WAAY 31 News.
All right, thank you, Ashley. Let's go ahead and take a look now while we're waiting for these results with some of the statewide races tonight.
And of course, polls just closed, so we don't really have the results just yet. As soon as we start getting some numbers trickling in, we'll pass them along to you. Of course, the big Republican primary, incumbent Donald Trump being challenged by a long shot, former Massachusetts Governor Bill Weld. He's mostly the kind of the anti-Trump vote, if you will. And
on the Democratic side, obviously, a very crowded field over there. We have Joe Biden, Michael Bloomberg, Bernie Sanders, and Elizabeth Warren, as well as Tulsi Gabbard on the ballots tonight. As
we were just pointing out, the U.S. Senate primary here, the top three frontrunners, as you can see right there, Bradley Byrne, Jeff Sessions, and Tommy Tuberville. The winner will go up against Doug Jones.
And of course, we do have that big Amendment 1 vote. It was a yes or no vote to change state school boards from elected to appointed. And Pat, you did a breakdown of what the yes and no vote would mean on the ballots.
So right now, and as it's been for years, voters get the opportunity to decide who their state board of education members will be. It's voter decided. If you vote yes for this particular amendment, it's a change to our constitutional amendment, Amendment 1. A yes vote would allow for the governor to appoint their own board members, and then the Senate would have to confirm those board members. It does a few other things as well, but those that oppose this were saying, look, if you're voting for it, you're really taking away your vote to decide locally on your own board members. So we'll see the results of that particular amendment throughout the evening.
All right, and we are getting word now. We're going to go back down to Mobile tonight, where we have Megan Reyna. She is at Bradley Byrne's campaign tonight. So Megan, again, bring us up to date with what's happening where you are. A lot of excitement there.
Right, the excitement actually starting to build up as his supporters start to come in at this watch party. We're in downtown Mobile at Winsells, and I'm talked to his campaign actually earlier, and they're saying that they're pretty confident that this election is going to go into a runoff, and they're confident that Bradley Byrne is going to be on that ballot, and so they're just waiting the results right now. But once those results, and regardless of what they'll be, he will be here tonight. He will speak and give his message, and so I'm going to send it back to y'all for now reporting live in Mobile. Megan Reyna, WAAY 31 News.
So, thanks so much. I know, Marie, you were covering the Byrne campaign. North Alabama was key to him.
Absolutely, because you know he's representing that District 1, Alabama's District 1 in Congress, and so he's really putting a focus on North Alabama. After he made his campaign announcement, he hit the ground running right here in Huntsville, and then he started the day before Super Tuesday with a breakfast right here with voters in Huntsville. He's a native to Mobile. He knows how progressive it is here in Huntsville and the growth, the economic growth. And he says that he thinks he can do more good for the state, especially here in North Alabama, in the Senate compared to what he's doing right now in the House. So let's take a listen to why he says he can help North Alabama.
Well, North Alabama is the economic driving force of the state right now. So we got to make sure we take care of Redstone Arsenal. The federal government plays a huge role there. Same thing with TVA. Same thing with some of the things we got to do around here with regard to transportation needs, particularly roads and bridges. I've been up here many times, worked on those issues before. I'm just going to keep on doing it, except in the Senate I can do a lot more for this area than I could in the House.
And you know, Pat, a lot of the recent polls were having a Tuberville Sessions runoff. We asked Bradley Byrne what he thinks about that. He thinks that the momentum has shifted, and he thinks it's shifted in his favor. He's confident that the votes are going to come in, and he thinks he's going to be one of the ones heading into the runoff in 4 weeks from now.
All right, so let's talk about this, and this is what I really can't wait for when we have election night. We get the political analysts to chime in and let us know how they feel. So let's bring in conservative radio host Dale Jackson. You all know Dale. And also Lisa Handback. Lisa is a member of the Alabama Democratic Executive Committee. So what do you think about that? Are there any, like, people were thinking Sessions is going to take this, the Senate primary. Is it a number like you're thinking Tommy Tuberville or Byrne to join him in second place? What are y'all thinking out there?
I always thought that this was originally just going to be a two-man race once Sessions got in, but you guys mentioned it. Byrne came on strong at the end. He had big ads. He was out there attacking. He was landing punches, and I think he fought his way back into the race. You had a three-man race at the end of this thing, and I think it's very feasible that we could see a Sessions-Tuberville-Byrne ending or a Sessions-Byrne-Tuberville ending. Sessions will probably win not enough to avoid a runoff, not by far. He'll miss that by a lot, and then we'll have a runoff. But I think the number two person could be either. Lisa?
Yeah, I agree. Sessions definitely the front runner, but I don't think he's going to win. It's going to take it to a runoff as well. But like you said, Byrne, Tuberville, back and forth. It could be. I'm very interested to see who's going to finish in second on this one.
Is it mostly about name recognition? Is it mostly about name recognition when it comes down to it, especially this first primary?
I think you could make that argument pretty easily. Tuberville has name recognition, and he told me in an interview early on in this campaign that he was running because he had that name recognition and he knew he could get in here and fight that fight. Jeff Sessions had name recognition across the state. He had been a senator for a long time. He'd been an attorney general in Alabama as well. Byrne represented a very specific part of the state down there in Mobile. Yes, he ran for governor. He had been a state senator. He had been the chancellor of the two-year college system. But he was very much, I mean, Lisa, you may agree with this, a regional player. And to go against these two guys, one a football coach in Alabama and the other the former Attorney General of America, I mean, big names.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of hard to go up against that for sure.
All right.
All right, so Dale and Lisa will be with us all throughout the evening. Looking forward to more of your comments as we move through and progress and start getting some of the results out there for sure.
And speaking of that name recognition, let's go ahead and check in right now with the Jeff Sessions watch party tonight. That's where our own Brecken Terry joins us live from now. Brecken, people starting to come in, a lot of excitement down where you are.
Yeah, guys, some of his supporters are starting to come in right now. They're also setting some food tables out outside of this ballroom area. This is actually going to be where Jeff Sessions is going to be giving his speech later on tonight around 10 o'clock, no matter what the results of this election are. Now, many people in his camp tell me that they have been watching their phones every couple of minutes, just waiting and hoping to get the backing of President Donald J. Trump in this election. Some people in his camp tell me that they're confident that Donald Trump will support him either tonight or if this comes down to a runoff type situation. So we will wait and see. And as people start to come in here, we will be bringing you the latest as soon as these polls and we get to start to get some of those numbers in. Live in Mobile, Brecken Terry, WAAY 31 News.
All right, thank you, Brecken. And as we check back in with her throughout the night, we'll see that room start to fill behind her with a lot of his constituents and campaign workers.
Let's bring in WAAY 31 anchor Dan Schaefer right now. Dan, I know you've been covering the Jeff Sessions campaign. This is something that he probably is not used to on election night. He's probably just used to winning outright.
Well, I have a feeling, things are going to be hopping at that watch party in Mobile. Because, yeah, you're right. He has been in this game a long time. I mean, he graduated from the University of Alabama with a law degree back in the early 70s. He practiced law for just a couple of years. And that was it. And then he's been in public service the whole time. Assistant state attorney. He was the U.S. state attorney for the Southern District. Then he was attorney general, of course, and he ran for a Senate right out of that. Elected to the Senate in '96. He's been reelected 3 times. So, and in his 4th term, of course, the president asked him to serve as Attorney General for the United States. And well, that had its own issues, but I mean, Sessions is he's perfect for the state of Alabama. He's a very staunch conservative in almost every aspect you could think of. Fiscally and socially, he is pro-life. He's a very pro-Second Amendment guy. He's voted against almost every abortion bill that has presented itself in the Senate, and he is He's probably going to win tonight, at least come in first, I think first place. Maybe not outright win, but he's going to come in first place. But he is from South Alabama. But at most, he's got the name recognition because he was senator here for so long. The entire state knows him. These other guys, Tuberville and of course Byrne, they're from South Alabama. They have a great name recognition down that way. But as far as the rest of the state, you know, they had to spend a lot of money and make a lot of trips, shake a lot of hands across the rest of the state to get their name out there.
And do you think that being in President Trump's cabinet, that's going to play in his favor? I know all three of them really trying to play
I mean,
card.
he has really towed the line for President Trump. Even with what happened with him recusing himself from the Russia investigation and Trump bashing him quite publicly, Sessions has, as far as my research goes, has really never said a bad word about the president. He has corrected him on a couple of issues, you know, about taking charge of the DOJ and that kind of thing, but he has never said a bad. And in fact, since he's announced his candidacy, he has been towing that Trump line the whole way.
So we'll see who out-Trumps the other, because they're all three of the top ones are saying, I'm a Trump guy, I'm a Trump guy.
Right.
All right. Dan, thanks so much. Dan and Naja will be joining us a little bit later on. But right now, we've got some big news, some new numbers coming out right now. In fact, we're about to call the Alabama Democratic presidential race, right?
And let's go ahead and check in with WAAY 31 sports director Lyndon Blake, who's stepping away from her regular duties tonight to help us track some of these numbers. Go ahead, Lyndon. We got our first numbers here.
Yeah, all night long I'll be watching these numbers and showing them to you visually. We're looking now at the Democratic primary for the entire state of Alabama. AP projecting Joe Biden to win this state. You can see his numbers at 41%, Bloomberg at 18%, Sanders at 12%, and Warren at 6%. So we're going to see if these numbers change. Right now, Biden is a projected winner for Alabama. Let's go ahead and look at the statewide count for the Senate race and see who just is in the lead at the moment. And right now it is Sessions squeezing out 37% to Tuberville's 33%. So they're still close right now. Byrne is coming in with 22%. Later on, we're going to break it down county by county, but you're looking at the statewide results. Guys.
Are you surprised to see the former VP really projected to win Alabama?
We're talking about Joe Biden, and Joe Biden, you heard from all national accounts that South Carolina was the firewall state. Joe Biden needed to win South Carolina. He did, with the help of mostly African-American vote. He comes down here to Alabama, and apparently the same thing has happened. He needs a lot of votes, because when it comes to the big delegate-rich states like California and Texas today, Bernie Sanders could be in play, especially in California. Bernie Sanders, and you have 415 electoral votes up for grabs in California. Bernie could be, you know, kind of out in front if Biden doesn't win states like Alabama, in which we just projected that he won Alabama, the 52 electoral votes. So he really did need, this was a must win for Biden here in Alabama.
And we can't dismiss the fact that he walked away with three big endorsements from, we got Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar, just these big endorsements on the eve of going to the polls.
And then now the big challenge for him as he's moving ahead, and hopefully he's in his camp thinking they'll get a bounce. The big challenge is bringing together and bridging those progressive Democrats with the more moderate Democrats and trying to attract some independents, even some Republicans. We'll see what happens. It's still early in the game.
All right. It is 20 minutes. We are approaching 20 minutes after 7 o'clock tonight. A long night to go. We are continuing to monitor these statewide races. Let's see, where are we going next?
Sydney Barton, and she's at the Tuberville campaign. We just showed some poll numbers, Sydney, showing Jeff Sessions out in front, 37%. Tuberville in second so far with 33%. Any early reaction there?
Well, Pat, a lot of people are just downstairs waiting, eating some food right now, and waiting to see the coach walk in. Now his bus hasn't walked into his watch party just yet. We're told it could be any minute now. Talked to some people. They made the trip down here to Lee County, Auburn, because his.
It is live TV, folks. We will check back in with her once we get those glitches fixed down there. Of course, she is down there with a close eye on Tommy Tuberville's campaign watch party.
How about we take a look at some local races, starting with some races here in Madison County?
Before we do that, though, we were talking about the rain really kind of coming through this morning before the polls open. Ashley Carter is at one of our big watch parties here in Madison County. You can see people Filing in behind you, Ashley. A lot of people waiting for these results. What's kind of the feel where you are in Madison County?
Yeah, Marie, this election watch party is now in full swing. As you said, you can see people coming, signing in, getting their foods. These seats are filling up really fast. People have their kids here and their spouses. They are just excited and ready to watch these election results tonight. Now, the party started at 6:30, but it's going to continue as the night goes on. Some Republican candidates are hosting their own watch parties around Madison County. Those either just started or are going to be starting here around 7:30. But the Republican Party is just super excited. They say this is a big election for them, and they're just happy to have some people here. Live in Madison County, Ashley Carter, WAAY 31 News.
The crowds are beginning to gather, and like we said, the excitement is just beginning as we're getting some of these numbers in.
And let's go ahead and take a look at some of these local races here that we have out of Madison County. Go ahead, Pat.
Yeah, looking at the Commission D1 race, looking at Tom Brandon, Tim McNeese, and Brett Underwood in that particular race. Again, it's still early. We're still waiting for some results to come in.
And we have the Madison Commission District 3 race. Craig Hill up against Eddie Sisk tonight. And the District 6 for Commission, Violet Edwards, just Henry Malone, and Vernon McCants all looking for big wins tonight. Also, we are looking at the Board of Education District 3. We've got Brian Brooks up against Howell Lee. And of course, we can't forget about the tax collector race. Drew McKay against Valerie Miles. Again, still early on. We're just kind of getting you familiar in case you voted on another ticket, who is up against who, and we will continue to follow these races for you throughout the evening.
Okay, so we're going to take a couple of minutes right now, take a quick little break right here on Dabble, channel 31.3, to get us set to break in and cover some local election results during ABC primetime coverage as well. So we'll take a couple of minutes of break here, getting prepared for that.
Yep, so keep it right here. We're going to show you some more races, and we will be back in just a few minutes.
You're watching special election coverage on WAAY 31 News.
I'm WAAY 31 News anchor Marie Waxel.
And I'm WAAY 31 News anchor Pat Simon. We're joining you right now for a look at tonight's local election results. Let's get right to it.
The biggest race of the night, the presidential candidate race. Joe Biden won the Democratic presidential primary here in Alabama, an early called race almost as soon as those polls closed.
You see Michael Bloomberg coming in second place, Bernie Sanders so far in third, and Elizabeth Warren rounding up the top four right there.
WAAY 31's Ashley Carter joins us live now from Huntsville with some more local coverage for you, where people are paying close attention to that presidential race. Ashley, it appears the Democratic race in Alabama already over just shortly after it started. What's been the reaction so far from where you are tonight?
Right now, the people here at this Republican watch party are just really anxiously awaiting for more results to come in. They say that this is a bigger night for their party, and they just are ready to see how it ends up as the night goes on. Right now, they're just mingling, but you can feel them anxiously awaiting for these results to start rolling in and to see who this Senate candidate is going to be. They say right now they don't really have an opinion on who wins, but again, they're just excited to see how this night plays out. Live in Madison County, Ashley Carter, WAAY 31 News.
Ashley, thank you so much. Ashley was just touching on this, the top three front runners so far in the U.S. Senate race here in Alabama, and there you see the numbers so far.
We've got Jeff Sessions ahead right now, 37%, 33% going to Tommy Tuberville, Bradley Byrne at 22%.
Former Attorney General Jeff Sessions hoping to win back a seat that he once held in the U.S. Senate. Let's check in now again with WAAY 31's Brecken Terry joining us live from Mobile at the Sessions watch party up there. Brecken.
Yeah, guys, we are here in Mobile at Jeff Sessions' watch party, but right now it's just a lot of people with the media that are here, and that's because the public is only starting to get in here around 7:30. Now, we know that Jeff Sessions is not here right now. He's actually at his house relaxing with his family. It's unclear when he's actually going to get here and hang out with some of his supporters. We know that he is going to be addressing the crowd at 10 o'clock, no matter what these results are. Now, people in the Shoals that I spoke with, yesterday told me that they're a little bit on the fence. Some people told me they want to vote for Jeff Sessions because of all the experience he has of holding this Senate seat for the last 20 years and then also being a part of President Donald Trump's cabinet. But then they told me that a lot of the things that Tommy Tuberville does is appealing, such as just being the new guy and the draining the swamp. Now, if you watch any of Jeff Sessions' campaign ads, he definitely talks about how he has never badmouthed President Donald Trump, even after he got the boot as Attorney General. And he always says that he supported Donald Trump and was the first Republican senator to come out and stand with Donald Trump back in 2016 when he was running for the presidency. So it will be very interesting to see if this campaign, Jeff Sessions' campaign, will go into a runoff. And that runoff, again, will be March 31st. Live in Mobile, Brecken Terry, WAAY 31 News.
Kind of an exuberant Jeff Sessions watch party because he's out in front. Again, it's still early, but Sessions in an early lead, 37% over Tommy Tuberville, 33% so far. And in third place, Bradley Byrne, 22%.
And that's where we find WAAY 31 Megan Reyna standing by in Mobile as well, where Bradley Byrne, that is, hopes to win that Senate seat.
Yeah, a lot of people starting to fill in this watch party here at Winsel's in downtown Mobile. They are, like you said, hoping for that runoff, hoping that he'll be on that ballot. And I know that he's polling third right now, so they're just hoping that changes pretty soon. And Bradley Byrne actually isn't here himself right now, but he will be here later, and regardless of the results, to confront his supporters are here. When I spoke to some supporters, they say a big reason why they voted for him was because of his support for the president. But for now, reporting live in Mobile, Megan Reyna, WAAY 31 News.
Of course, WAAY 31's coverage of election night continues online and also on Dabble 31.3 channel.
Keep it right here. We'll check back in with you in another half hour.
You're watching special election coverage from WAAY 31 News on 31.3 Dabble.
Polls closed about 30 minutes ago. Already we have some exciting election results coming in. We're joining you live right now on Dabble, channel 31.3, and also streaming live as well. Pat Simon with Marie Waxel tonight.
It is 7:30, and we're already starting to see some of those numbers starting to move all across the board. Obviously, the big race on the Republican ticket, that Senate seat, we've got Jeff Sessions with a lead right now. Not really a big surprise here. He's got 45% of the vote over Tommy Tuberville with 30%, Bradley Byrne in third with about 15%. But keep in mind, this is less than 1% reporting. So these are very, very early numbers in that race.
Of course, we have reporters covering all throughout the state, all the major campaigns. And in fact, our own Brecken Terry is covering the Jeff Sessions campaign live for us tonight out in Mobile. He's got to be excited so far. At least the people out there behind you have to be excited, Brecken.
Yeah, guys, some of Jeff Sessions supporters are just now starting to trickle in to the ballroom here at the Renaissance Plaza Hotel. That's right near the river. Now, we know that they are bringing out some food plates and things like that outside of this room. But again, just right now, a lot of media people. We've got two big screens up, and we know that Jeff Sessions is going to be coming in around 10 o'clock and making his speech, no matter what these results are. But again, people in his campaign tell me they know that this is probably going to come down to a runoff. They believe that that runoff will be with Tommy Tuberville. Both of those candidates have, been saying we're the best for Trump. We support Trump the most. So it's really been interesting to watch the two go back and forth in the three, if you include Bradley Byrne, about who is the best man to help support Trump and push his agenda here across the state. So again, we know that Jeff Sessions is not here right now. He is relaxing with his family. It's unclear when he's going to get here to the hotel for his watch party. And they actually kicked us out of this room earlier for about an hour and a half while he came in here and practiced his speech. We heard a lot of clapping and stuff like that. So I'm assuming that that was probably the winning speech that he was reading at that moment. But as you can imagine, they probably have a couple of other speeches lined up as well, just in case. So again, if this does come to a runoff, that will happen March 31st. Live in Mobile, Brecken Terry, WAAY 31 News.
Brecken, thanks so much. Of course, we're getting some election results coming in, and we just show that that Jeff Sessions is leading 45%. Tommy Tuberville, former Auburn football coach, coming in second place so far. Again, it's early with 31%, but here you have Tuberville with a college football record of 159 wins, 99 losses. Lyndon Blake's looking at me like, wait a minute, I'm the sports person. Anyway, but I'll tell you this. But as a politician, though, he's 0-0. Right now, and he's looking for his first win tonight, at least to get into a runoff this evening. We have our own Sydney Martin, who's out there covering Tommy Tuberville's campaign. We'll get back with Sydney in just a couple of moments.
And of course, this next man says do not count him out just yet. Again, less than 1% of the vote reporting. Bradley Byrne in a distance third right now, but anything can happen. It is still very early in the night. Let's go ahead and check in with our own Megan Reyna, who's also in Mobile for Bradley Byrne's watch party. Megan?
Right, very early in the night, so there's still a lot of excitement here, a lot of hope that he will make it close enough to Sessions that there will be a runoff and that he'll be on that ballot. And when we are speaking to people that are starting to come in, his supporters, they're still confident that he'll do it. They are from Mobile, so they're familiar with Bradley and all the work that he's done here. He has a long history in politics here in Alabama, and they're hopeful that that will carry him to the ballot. And he is expected to be here later tonight. He's not here right now. He's going to address the crowd. We're expecting it to be crowded right behind me. He should be speaking around 9 or 8 or so, and so we'll bring you that latest as soon as we get it. But for now, reporting live in Mobile, Megan Reyna, WAAY 31 News.
Saying don't count him out. The Bradley Byrne camp out there with our own Megan Reyna.
Now, we do have some really neat features that we are adding to our coverage tonight. And of course, it's only fitting that our sports director, Lyndon Blake, would be the one to show them off for us tonight. We're looking at some of these results that are in. Lyndon, what are the numbers looking like right now?
This gives you a real good look at just how out front Biden is over the rest of the Democratic presidential candidates. He's leading right now with 62% of the vote. But something I want to point out is right now we're not getting that many votes in because it still is early. If you look down at the bottom of the bars, you'll see the actual number of votes for each candidate. For example, Biden with 62% has 366 votes right now. Warren's in last with 3%. She's only pulled in 18 votes. So we'll continue to monitor as more votes come in throughout the night. So it is still early, and even though Biden is the projected winner, we could see the other numbers shift drastically as more votes roll in. Let's get a really quick look at the Senate race before I give it back to you guys and see what their new numbers are pulling up. Sessions still in the lead now, 43% to Tuberville's 31%. Byrne with 15%. Sessions has 152 votes as of right now. So again, low vote count is just getting started. We'll continue to monitor, and you'll be able to see the changes right over here. Guys.
All right, thank you, Lyndon. I love how we're able to see the exact number of votes,
Right.
the percentage of votes, and breaking it down by counties. It's really something exciting.
Let's bring in our analysts tonight. You're absolutely right. Let's bring our analysts, Dale Jackson and Lisa Hand back. Let's talk about that Senate race for a second, the top three so far. One analyst I heard from today called it a bro fest, that they were trying to attach themselves to Donald Trump. And the one that did it the best is going to win out tonight. I mean, how much of a factor is Trump in this particular case when he didn't even endorse any one of them?
Well, all you have to do is look at the television ads, and you will see exactly what you're talking about. A bro fest would probably be a good way to put it. You had candidates saying, "I'm the most Trump," and then you had them saying, "Did you see this bad thing that this guy said about Trump? Can you believe it?" I mean, so yeah, it became a Trump fest. But, you know, at least I'll ask you this. The question I would have is, what else are you going to do in Alabama? How else do you differentiate yourself? They're not really all that different on policy, so that everyone loves Trump, right?
Yeah, they're really just trying to out-Trump each other. That's what they've looked like to me anyway.
Yeah, and if that's what they're trying to do, they all did a great job
they did.
with loving Trump, so that's true. Yeah, so that's what I think happened there.
Okay, well, obviously we know the winner tonight, if they go into the runoff, eventually come November, they're going to face Senator Doug Jones. Is it looking like he's feeling confident to keep his seat come November?
I don't know why Doug Jones would be confident about keeping his seat. You could go through the numbers of what happened in 2017. Republicans stayed home because Roy Moore was the nominee. And you'll notice we haven't even mentioned Roy Moore's name today because he's a non-factor in this race. He's in it, but he's a non-factor. If Roy Moore is not one of these guys and he doesn't make it to the other side, I think Doug Jones knows that his best bet for a job after November is to work for President Joe Biden.
Lisa, you're probably disagreeing with that. I mean, what's on Doug Jones's mind tonight?
I think, to Dale's point, it is going to be an uphill battle. We knew that this is a different election than it was back in 2017. You know, different players. We don't have Roy Moore, fortunately and unfortunately, to factor in. But Doug Jones has done a lot of good things for the state. He has, been a man of his word of what he was going to do as a senator. So I think he just kind of sticks to that. He just keeps talking about what he's done, what he wants to do for One Alabama, which is his slogan. And I think he has a fighting chance against whoever wins on the Republican side.
But he voted for impeachment.
He did.
That's the end.
Is that going to hurt?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Lisa?
It won't help him. Yeah.
It won't help.
Alabama.
Yeah,
it
that's
won't help
not
him.
going to help him at all.
No.
Okay. The other thing that came out, there was a poll that was out earlier today, an exit poll of Alabama Democrats. Lisa, to you for a second. 77% of these respondents, Alabama Democrats, said that they were, and here's the word, they were angry at the current Trump administration.
Yeah, that doesn't really surprise me. I imagine that probably matches up with across the nation as far as how. I think we've seen that with our Democratic presidential candidates that we've had, that there clearly is a lot of, like you said, anger, across the nation towards this administration, for sure.
What are they angry about?
Oh, gosh, what are they not angry about?
Okay.
I mean, just everything from, climate change, things that have been going on with climate change, just different things that this administration has done with voting rights, with his appointing of several very conservative judges. There's a lot of things for Democrats to be.
The judges
upset
would probably
about.
be the big one. I mean, that would probably
Yeah.
be, those were huge things. There were big battles over his judges, especially Supreme Court judges. Yeah, I think that's what they're going to be furious about mostly. And I'll be honest with you, if Hillary Clinton was president, I think you'd see the numbers on the other side exactly the same. We're a divided country and we're a divided state.
Yeah.
All right, Dale Jackson, Lisa Handback, we will be checking in with them throughout the evening, just kind of keeping us up to date with exactly what's going on out there.
Kind of fun hearing their expertise chiming in. This is going to be a blast throughout the evening for sure.
It is. Now let's go ahead and check in with our own Ashley Carter. She is standing by at the Republican headquarters watch party here in Madison County. She actually has the most activity behind her as these numbers are coming in. Ashley, of course, the big race out there being that Republican Senate seat. How's that atmosphere where you are?
Right now, people are still just anxious. Now, they told me that right now they're not really choosing which candidate they're going to endorse or who they're going for. They're just ready to see who's going to come out on top tonight. They're getting settled in. They're taking their seats, waiting for these election results to start rolling in. Some of them even told me that they are suspecting that there's going to be a runoff between the candidates, so maybe a little while before they decide which one they're going to endorse come November. Candidate Mo Brooks just left, told me he's heading to his own watch party at Bullet and Barrel at 7:30. So the atmosphere at this Republican Party really is just excitement. They say this is a huge night for them, and they can't wait till the fun really begins. Live in Madison County, Ashley Carter, WAAY 31 News.
Okay, Ashley, thank you so much. We have some other races. We want to take a little bit more local here and take a look at some of the races, beginning with Colbert County.
That is right. We are looking at Commission District 2. We've got David Black up against Tyrus Mansell. That is the race we're keeping a close eye over there. And then the Board of Education District 5 seat, Jace Kimbrough up against Ricky Saint.
Okay, we have some other races that we want to share with you. And again, this is in DeKalb County now. This is for Commission D1, Joseph Lee taking on Shane Wooten. Also in DeKalb County District, that's D2, Terry Harris and Scott Westbrook there. Continuing in DeKalb, Constable, Jimmy Carter and Michael Twilley. And also in DeKalb, this is for Constable D4, Mark Huber, Jeff Keener, and Billy J. Witt. And again, still early this evening. When we start getting those numbers, we'll, of course, pass them along to you.
And as we've promised, we have our reporters spread out throughout the state, bringing you coverage from the hottest campaign watch parties tonight. Let's go ahead and check in now with our own Sydney Martin,
who is at the Tommy Tuberville campaign. He is staying in second place with all the election results we're getting so far this evening. Any early reaction from the Tuberville camp, Sydney?
Pat Marie, there's slipped right now as we approach to arrive. Now, his bus did pull up about 40 minutes ago, but no one has stepped off that bus just yet. Now, we're just outside of Auburn on a farm, so the service isn't great out here, but they do have some TVs up, but the service on those TVs do keep well. We know that Coach Tuberville this campaign season saying that he's a strong politician, and that he wants to drain the swamp, and that he supports President Trump and wants to build a wall as well as protect Second Amendment. Now again, just yet, but we're told that when he does get here, he's not going to speak, and that he will take the podium around 10 o'clock tonight. Auburn, Sydney Martin, WAAY 31 News.
All right, we heard Sydney saying the service is a little spotty out there, as we can see, but the good thing, though, she did say, of course, those TVs working just fine, and that, of course, is what everybody is watching to see those results tonight.
We're going to take a little bit of a break here, a little bit of a breather, where we're going to continue our WAAY 31 special election coverage. Our own Dan Schaefer and Naja Sherman will join you in just a couple of moments right here on Dabble 31.3, and also we're streaming live.
You're watching special election coverage from WAAY 31 News on 31.3 Dabble.
Thank you for joining us for WAAY 31 and our special coverage of today's Super Tuesday primaries. I'm Naja Sherman.
And I'm Dan Schaefer. Pat Simon and Marie Waxel are with us as well. We'll be joining us in just a few minutes here, but it has been an exciting night already. A lot of the polls have closed already at 7 o'clock, and a lot of the results have been coming in through the night. We're excited to bring them to you right here. We're also live streaming right now at waaytv.com.
And we are following results from the biggest races of the night, keeping a close eye on the Republican Senate primary as well as the Democratic presidential primary. But we want to start with WAAY 31's Shosh Bedrosian.
Shosh Bedrosian joins us live now from Mobile. She's at the Jeff Sessions watch party. Jeff Sessions, one of the top 3 contenders for that Senate Republican primary, along with Tommy Tuberville and Bradley Byrne. She joins us now from Sessions watch party. Shosh, how's it going out there?
That's right. I'm live in downtown Mobile at the Jeff Sessions viewing party. There are some people who are starting to file in to show their support for Jeff Sessions. We do know he is at home right now resting before these results come in. This is a very big election for him as he is trying to win back his seat in Senate from the Democrat Doug Jones, who did take his seat in 2017 during the special election. So like I said, this is a very big election. We should start to see some results coming in soon, and we will be waiting for Jeff Sessions to arrive, and he is expected to take this podium tonight at some point, giving a speech, and we could expect a runoff tonight between Tommy Tuberville and Jeff Sessions as well. But for now, reporting live in Mobile, Shosh Bedrosian, WAAY 31 News.
Thanks, Shosh. The last check, Jeff Sessions was in the lead in that runoff election.
Yeah, you know, he's excited about that. Really interesting how he continued to just attach himself to President Donald Trump throughout his campaign. They all have, even though President Trump has said that he doesn't support him.
He doesn't. They've had their differences, you know, absolutely. When he was Attorney General for those about a year and a half there, then he turned in his resignation. When he recused himself, President Trump said, I don't like the guy. I don't want him here anymore. I should have picked somebody else for Attorney General. But all the time, since he announced his, in fact, it was a year to the day when he turned in his resignation to the time he announced he was running for the Senate again, that in all that time, he's been supporting President Trump lock, stock, and barrel.
Yeah, really interesting to see all that play out. We want to go to WAAY 31's Lyndon Blake now. She is tracking national results, and a good night for Biden so far.
Yes, a great night for Biden in the state of Alabama. You're looking at our latest numbers. He has dropped a little bit. He was at 62% last time I spoke with you guys. Now he's down to 52 as more votes start rolling in as we inch closer and closer past 8 o'clock. Bernie Sanders with 19% of the vote. Bloomberg, he's dropped now. He's in third with 12%. Last time we checked in, he was behind Biden. Warren still coming in last in the state of Alabama. She has 13% with only 179 votes. So again, we're looking at the state in a whole and who is in the lead, and it's Biden by far. Guys.
I want to talk just a minute about Bloomberg because it's really interesting to see him drop to third place. He was really the wild card in this, skipping the first 4 voting states and then waiting to enter until the Super Tuesday primary, spending more than $200 million of his own money.
Yeah, I've read some places that he's going to have a lot of answering to do to the voters if he doesn't make a good showing on Super Tuesday, and so far it's not looking too good.
Yeah, really interesting. In Alabama alone, we know that he spent about $8 million, and they say people in the southern regions see his ads about 30 times a day.
Oh my gosh. We're all pretty much tired of our campaign ads, I know. But all right, we're going to check in. Ashley Carter joins us now live. Ashley joins us from Madison County, Huntsville, and she is at the GOP watch party.
So everybody has taken their seats in front of the TV. Again, they're ready for these election results to come down. They said that they're hoping that they come down within the next hour or so. They're excited to see who's going to come up on top tonight. Now, they said that this location for the watch party is going to remain open even when the mall closes. They're just going to shut down the gate. So if you do want to come and join and watch it with them, they said that you have plenty of time to come and sit down. They're just talking about the election, how November is going to go, and who they think is going to win tonight. Live in Madison County, Ashley Carter, WAAY 31 News.
All right, thanks, Ashley. We have reporters all over the state covering these watch parties and bringing you the latest results right here on Dabble 31.3 and streaming online.
We sure do. I think we've got some race results out of Franklin County. We see Joe Fike at 0.
Chris Wallace also in that race, and this is the District 1 Commission race in Franklin County. We're still waiting for those results to come in. They do trickle in a little more slowly on the local races, it seems like, than the national races.
And we are at 0% reporting now, so still anyone's game. Again, that's for Commission D2 in Franklin County.
Stay with us for these latest results. Here's a District 3 Commission race in Franklin County. These are Republican candidates Joseph Baldwin and Ray. Well, it went by fast. William Hest, there he is, Rayburn Massey. Anyway, the bottom line is so far no votes reported, but these are the contestants.
0% reporting, but just to give you a heads up of who is facing off against who in these local Franklin County races. This is for Revenue Commissioner.
Strat Byers, Charlie Nelson, and Veronica Stansel. Again, we'll be bringing you those results as soon as they come in. All right, that's it for us for right now, but we're going to be here all night for you. Dabble 31.3. We're going to take a quick break and go to ABC.
We'll be right back. You can watch our live stream as well. We are at WAAYTV.com.
You're watching special election coverage on WAAY 31 News.
Good evening. I'm WAAY 31 News anchor Naja Sherman.
And I'm WAAY 31 News anchor Dan Schaefer. We're cutting in for a look at tonight's local results.
And we're starting to get our results in for the night for the Republican race for U.S. Senate. We know right now Jeff Sessions is in the lead, followed by Tommy Tuberville and then Bradley Byrne in third. And the winner will challenge incumbent Democrat Doug Jones.
Going to get a better view of this, and it looks like actually Tuberville and Jeff Sessions kind of neck and neck right now, and Lyndon Blake is standing by with a better graphic version of these results. The polls are still open, and there she is.
Getting almost a real-time results right here, about a 3-minute delay. So Tommy Tuberville really on the move. Him and Jeff Sessions all knotted up at 36%. Bradley Byrne still in third at 19. But remember the bars from earlier? We had Tuberville down low, Sessions hanging up top. Now it's an even playing field for the former football coach and Jeff Sessions, guys.
All right, thanks, Lyndon. Polls are still open in Tennessee. The Democratic race for U.S. president in Tennessee still undecided. Bloomberg, Biden, Sanders, Elizabeth Warren. Poll times there extended because of the areas that were affected by the tornado last night.
The Democratic race for U.S. president is already over in Alabama. As you know, we've reported that the Associated Press is already projecting Joe Biden as the winner. Other candidates, Michael Bloomberg, Bernie Sanders, and Elizabeth Warren, all trailing, but definitely a big night for Joe Biden, 64% so far. That's 1% reporting.
Republican race for U.S. president. President Trump easily winning over former Massachusetts Governor Bill Weld, 97% to 2%. We have reporters all across the state at viewing parties for several of the major campaigns.
WAAY 31's Sydney Martin is covering Tommy Tuberville. And what is the atmosphere like where you're at, Sydney, tonight?
Naja, people are starting to funnel into this farm that we're on just outside of Auburn to see Coach Tuberville and to see if he wins the Republican seat for Senate or for the primary tonight. Now, no sign of the coach just yet, but his bus is outside and has been parked outside for about an hour. So we're waiting to see when he will walk in. His campaign staff tells us that he will not be speaking until about 10 o'clock tonight. People in here are watching the TV screens closely, hoping to see him win this race. Live in Auburn, Sydney Martin, WAAY 31 News.
And quickly, Senator Doug Jones uncontested on the Democratic side of the ticket.
WAAY 31 coverage you can count on continues online at WAAYTV.com. And Dabble, we hope you join us there. That's 31.3.
Stay with us. We'll check back in with you in about half an hour right here on WAAY 31 News.